not to try to do anything with it, just to have it out there because I just played the greatest game of all time.
What did you play?
It's The Last of Us. I remember I was talking about the practice.
Oh, yeah.
Just so good, man.
What is it that you love about it?
I guess a single player experience. Not only was it controlled perfect, it didn't get locked up in places, when you gotta like reset or you get, clipping basically.
Yeah.
It was the smoothest experience, and then the story itself was incredible.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Gotta check it out.
I'll have to get into it. I was actually thinking about doing something similar, but I think it's cool if you do it like just even like I've been like approaching all of my sort of blog and sort of output stuff as like my own personal diary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like not even thinking about whether or not like whatever. If you just approach it that way, like I think it gives it like an authenticity and like a real genuine sort of take on it. That it's like whatever. I think it could be cool.
Do you blog regularly?
I did for a bit, but I'm going to start blogging again on this one. And so, like, I have one called, well, it's The Hermit Designer, but basically, it's like it started out as anonymous. I guess it won't be anonymous now, but it's basically I write or draw my design sort of thoughts on like a small, what are these? Moleskin. Yeah. And then I take pictures of it and I put them in and I just sort of like, I just put little quick blurbs on why they're important. And then I eventually plan to come back and sort of fill it out a little bit more. But sometimes the notes themselves are just interesting, right? So, hold on, let me fire up Keynotes because I'm going to continue to have.
Broadcasting? I can't get on Twitch. I don't think I have the bandwidth to do both.
Okay, we are broadcasting. I actually started when I started asking you about your blog.
Sweet.
Yeah, I went on exactly at 10. Say what?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, everybody's you and me right now.
That's fine. That's how these things start, man.
Totally, and I'm excited because like all week I was thinking not about like who's watching and whatnot, but
what we're gonna do.
But like, yeah, how I'm gonna what I'm gonna teach you this week in what order.
This needs to be fun for you, like
totally.
Like, that's what these are so cool. Like,
yeah,
I was talking to a guy who's really successful on YouTube this week, and I'm thinking I started streaming last Saturday, and I want to start a channel and all this stuff. And he goes, "Don't do it if you want to try to make money." I'm like, "No, I just want to do it because it seems fun to do. Like, just put a little camera on and broadcast."
Right. Hold on. Let me make sure this is broadcasting it with the right sort of tags. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is actually...
No, I think when you title it, just title it what it is. Like what each day is going to be. Unity basics, Unity.
I'm actually just doing like episode 2 right now.
I mean, we that's like not the best strategy for stuff like this, but
yeah.
we could change that in YouTube.
Because basically I like
Attack of the Clones. We'll call this one.
Yeah. Well, this is episode 2, uScipt part 1.
There you go. So uScipt part 1. That'd be good. That'd be good to start. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Sorry, Unity3D uScipt part 1. Because the thing is like they picked a nice name for Unity, except that uScipt also used to mean Unreal Script.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks.
It's starting to get lost because Unreal Script changed to something like Blueprints or whatever.
So, I guess. Well, I mean, since we're broadcasting, can I ask a question while you're doing this?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, since you've been working with many different development tool sets, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Unity isn't your first, obviously. What do you think of this and compared to anything you've worked on before? Have you worked on like Unreal?
I have. So it came down to like in general, I feel, it's every engine has its strengths and weaknesses, and for me, the things that I really like about Unity over others, one of the big ones being that it's free, right? Totally free, and the other thing being that the asset store is there, so I don't have to do everything from scratch, right? And so you can use the asset store either for examples or even wholesale, like finding great solutions to your problems, right? Hey, hold on. I'm actually. Oh, hey. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to change the name of this. You know what? I'll fucking change it later. Who cares? Because actually, there are more people watching. Hi, Josh. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Let's just get to Unity. So one of the things I like about Unity, and that's a great segue right into this, is how everything's kind of modular, and it's built based on like each individual object can be its own thing, right? And also the fact that it's really kind of bare bones, super simple, as far as like what.
So you can go as far as you want with it, really. I mean, because it is so simple. Just because anyone can pick it up, but it's difficult to master. Kind of one of those things.
Totally. What like the
great effects.
Absolutely. And so one of the things about it is you can go as deep as you want. You can noodle away on something for 3 years, or you can, do something with, doors change colors every time you tap the space bar. Right?
I think that's a cool idea. I think it's going to, especially if what you said before, how it kind of ramps up to that and it gets kind of crazier and crazier, and like, I think that, I don't know, it's just, you can do so much with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what we can do with it. I think we need to find out how much we can do with it, really, right?
Yeah. And, one of the cool things about it, and this was my favorite thing, is like, and for me, this is the way my brain works, is like, at some point I was like, well, okay, it'd be really great if I built some stuff, but if I have to do some kind of crazy import path to get it into, like, Xcode, and then actually have to recode a bunch of stuff anyway, then why don't I just learn Xcode, right, to do Apple stuff, or, like, the Android SDK, but so much of that is handled in here that it's almost a one-button process, right? It's not. You have to have
between like console, PC, and mobile. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you can. And in fact, I don't recommend straight porting like that, but you can actually do. Here, I'll go to build settings so you can see it. You can just change what your output is going to be here. It changes your project, so don't mistake that. But then there's a switch platform button down here that when you click that, it reorganizes sort of the structure of your assets, and then when you hit build and run, it'll try and run it on that platform. So I can test it directly on what's going on. In fact, the first thing that we're going to test on is Android, but I'll cover this later when we get to that step. Right now, and I'm going to sort of break this down into steps, and I'll put it on Keynote so you can see it on screen. Add a slide. Drop this one down here. What was this one? Okay. Yeah, this will do. So there's sort of several phases that we want to go through, Brian, like to finally get to final. And like I was like, this week I was like, oh my god, I think I can just finish 3 doors this week. But I was like, let's hold on to it because I want to do it together, right? Mm-hmm. So like I'll work on other stuff in the meantime. But this one is you kind of want to get everything working first, right? And then to be broad about it, then you kind of want to go through and make sure that not only is everything working, but it's relatively like error free, right? So it's bug free as far as like what it's going to be. And then you have to start like every step farther gets closer and closer to what the end player experience is going to be. Then after that, you have to test on the hardware that you want them to experience it on, right?
Right.
So what that means is, let's see. One, get it working, right? And this is the equivalent of like writing a rough draft, right? Mm-hmm. 2, bug fix, right? And then, actually, sorry, let's do this. So, getting working, rough draft, it can be ugly, right? Which is what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna care so much about aesthetics, except it's enough to get the gist of what. I mean, clearly we're not gonna put 3 things that aren't doors up there, right? We could put boxes, but they still have to have a little bit of that form factor, right? So let me see. Make it look right. Rough draft. This is even a rough draft stage, right? So I'll just say that the qualitative goal for this is passable, right? So there's kind of a quantitative goal, which is rough draft. So I want you to imprint in your head that rough draft.
Can you share your screen? Sorry, the one on Skype.
Sorry, I skipped that step, didn't I?
Yeah. Sorry, you were flowing. I didn't want to cut into the flow.
Yeah. No, that's okay. That's okay.
I want to make sure I saw it.
Let's see, where's the share screen thing again?
I think it's if you right-click your name or the conversation you're in.
Oh, right.
Share screen. Current calls.
What the who? I know it's up in the window somewhere. Oh, how come I couldn't read that? Okay.
My name isn't George, which is good.
Yeah. I don't know why like my eyeballs latched onto your middle name because it's in your email. Like I was like, even though I don't think it's like somewhere it's imprinted in the association. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean
it's weird. Anyway, okay. So what I've done here is like get it working. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rough draft ugly. Yep.
Yep. So this is quantitative. So when you think of rough draft, you think just all the pieces are there, right? And it's okay if it's ugly. That's qualitative, right? Make it look right, and by look right, it's like not only are all the pieces there, but they're the right pieces, right? So it's rough draft, and then it's passable. Like at least they're sort of there, right? Now there's basically let's call this make it work correctly. Right. This is a significant step because get it working to me means that since we're not going straight to the hardware, I can use the spacebar as a viable alternative, right? Or I can use just mouse clicks instead of a tap, right? So like we just want to get it working
just
to make sure.
Yeah.
You just want the logic in your script to work, right? So if you try to do it all in one shot, what ends up happening, it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like building a giant Lego tower and then realizing some of the Legos at the foundation are fucked up, right? You've made assumptions based on the bottom, and so you have to rip it all apart to get back to the bottom again. And the other thing is like, also imagine the situation where there's a lot of pitfalls for just trying to build it all in one shot. Even if it's only like a 3-hour project, you still have to break it into phases, right? Into these phases. And so, are we
in get it working phase right now?
Yes, we are. And so one of the other pitfalls is you get somewhere near the end and you're like, oh my God, this part doesn't work in my make it work correctly part. And you go back and you can't find why. Because you've done so much work that you weren't paying attention to as far as making it work correctly. And there's a bug somewhere. And you essentially spend 3 times the amount of time going back as you would have spent if you just did it, like slow and steady, right? So, okay, make it work correctly. That's both the phase and that's the goal and the name of the phase. You want to make it work correctly, right?
That's our ad, by the way.
Nice. Make it work.
Did you see what that ad, or did you hear what that ad was? Or did you see it when you logged into Twitch? The King of the Nerds show, starring Louis Stoltnick and Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that.
It's like season 2 now.
I didn't think that show would last.
I didn't. I didn't either, but
I
they
thought-
definitely. I'm surprised they went for the actual nerds from the old